Everyone, this is Corey with Sims Investment Management. This is another monthly market update. It's the beginning of March here in Cincinnati. It's been absolutely beautiful outside, and the market in February ended up pulling back a little bit from what we rallied in January. The market's still off around 15% or so from where we were last January, and parts of the market where they peaked actually in October, November of 2021. So we're still looking for some clarity on where the Fed is going to go, where they will stop the interest rate hikes, and then ultimately, will we have a recession in the second half of this year? And if so, how deep will that recession be? So far, the predictions have been that we will have a fairly mild recession going into the latter part of 2023 and maybe carrying into 2024. But we can't predict that, and a lot of the people that are trying to predict that are frequently wrong. And so when we talk about what we're doing for clients from a financial planning standpoint, we oftentimes try to remind you that we're not trying to predict what the market's going to do in the next 6, 12, 18 months. We're trying to predict that you're going to have a portfolio that's going to be able to sustain you when you're 80, 85, 90 years old. And sometimes people think, well, that's not likely. I don't think I'll live that long. And I've heard this new term recently. It's not longevity risk, it's longevity reality. And we've talked a little bit in the past of when people enter into retirement, they oftentimes can get way too conservative because they're too focused on volatility, and they completely become oblivious or put blinders on to inflation risk and longevity reality. The fact is that in America, a non-smoking couple that retires at age 65 that are married, there is a greater than 50% chance that one of them will make it to age 90, right? So we're really trying to figure out what we have to do to structure a portfolio that will produce income for them for a 20 to 30 year retirement time frame. That can be as long as some people save for 20 to 30 years. So that is our main focus here, and why we just beat the drum so much on stop focusing on volatility, which you cannot control, and focus on some of the other risks to portfolios that are much more real and much more manageable and controllable by us. I also, in a similar article, saw this kind of tidbit where we're naturally predisposed to scan for negativity bias. And that comes back from thousands of years ago when we had to constantly be on guard, right? We were worried about something that was going to eat us, or something that we might eat that might hurt or kill us. And so we naturally, our brain is predisposed to worry and worry about the negativity and what negative effects there could be. And so when we're bombarded with that financial journalism all day, it's very natural to have our old part of our brain that allows us to go down and spiral down that rabbit hole. So it's completely natural to feel those emotions. We just don't want you to make actions on them, right? And instead, let's talk through how we can think through the data and talk through your goals and your time horizon and your risk profile to come up with a portfolio and a plan, and then stick with that plan. There is attached to this article, to this newsletter, is the Berkshire Hathaway letter that went out last week. This is one of my favorite reads every year. It's very, very digestible. I highly encourage it. It's less than 10 pages, and the majority of it has a little bit of humor. And Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger are just truly remarkable businessmen and partners. And Charlie has about 2 pages worth of one-liners in there that are great little tidbits towards the end. So I highly recommend that. One of my big takeaways from the letter this year is Warren specifies, Charlie and I are not stock pickers, we are business pickers. And we stress that here. We are not trying to buy and sell stocks. We are trying to put you in a position where you own businesses. And similar to if you owned a local business, we're trying to own good, high quality businesses that we can own for a long time, that are going to pay you dividends, they have positive free cash flow, they are insulated, they have a moat, and are good corporate citizens. And for the most part, that defines the majority of the S&P 500 and large companies in the U.S. I'm going to leave it there this month. There will be a couple other resources in the newsletter that I encourage you to check out. I hope you guys have a wonderful March, and we will talk to you in April. Thanks.